Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Cherise and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy. Good morning. And so we are here, and it's Tuesday, February the 13th, and I am so excited because I'm in the middle of my messy middle, which means I'm falling off the things that I said I was going to start doing in January. So I am one of the people who still does make New Year's resolutions because for me, the New Year is just a wonderful time to reset in my head. And there's an energy that usually carries me through January until this point, midpoint in February. And I like riding that wave. And that energy for me only happens twice a year. So it's in January and then around about August, September, I get another. So and I think that's maybe going back to school and it just kind of, but like I have these waves of energy. So January. But my wave in January for January that starts at the new year, this is the critical week. You get like I've looked at my whole history. This is the week where either I fall off completely or I stay back on. And so, I'm learning myself. And so I'm learning what I need to do to stay on and what I have to do this week to support myself. So that's where I am. And that's what we're going to talk about today, those things. So how are you, Cherise?
I am doing great, Nat. I've been extra busy, which is perfect topic because, busy is good, but busy can be in the way.
I'm going to talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, you have to be careful. And that's where I am right now. And I have it's a critical time for me as well, because we're right at February 13th.
Yep.
And I told my group, my last Activate Your Abundance, like what was going to happen. Like after we did the December challenge, the 21-day challenge, we were going to have January, which was going to be kind of reset. For us, and I wouldn't be showing up quite as much. And then February, we're going hard because it's just that time. And that's where people start falling off, right? Exactly what you're saying. So I was at the conference for 4 days, February 1st.
Yes.
I came back from the conference. I think I went to a retreat before the conference, travel. Just back to back to back. And I'm like, wait a minute. I feel like I still have not had time to focus. And I'm like, wait. And, a lot has been going on. These phone calls.
Right.
Of need and transition. People are transitioning off this planet. And
oh my gosh.
It's a lot going on. People in need of just everything. And my phone is like going off. And I'm feeling away because, of course, some things I can't provide for.
Right.
And then some things I can provide a little for. And then, when you get those gut-wrenching calls of, this person transition, this, that kind of stuff, it's just like, all you can do is center. So I hear you. I hear you on, okay, so we got to get this wave and we got to ride this wave. But, Natalie, it's like, how? How do
That's what we're going to talk about.
Get a grip this time and roll with it and not let all the overwhelm take over,
Oh, okay. So first of all, I want to give everybody out there permission to take a day. So if you need, I call them a do nothing day, what you want to call it, a rejuvenation day, whatever. If you need to just take a day, take it.
Yeah.
And so there comes a point where you just kind of energetically hit a wall. You ain't going nowhere else. And depending on your work cycle, and I want everybody to start. Okay, so the title of my message for today is the art of self-management. The art of self-management.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things I want you to do is to learn yourself so that you can manage yourself well and produce what you want to produce. So if you notice that I can run hard for 6 weeks and then I'm going to hit a wall, okay, every 6 weeks, then you need to schedule yourself a do nothing day, a do nothing weekend, a rejuvenation day, whatever you want to call it, but schedule that in. Now, there is some people who will feel guilty for that. And I really need y'all to understand that rest, and I know I said this last time, rest is as important as work. It is as important as work.
Yeah.
And so please schedule that in so that you can keep going. Because what happens if you don't plan for that rest period, then you wind up running out of gas on the side of the road. Or running out of steam or burning out or getting upset. I think we've all had that experience where you're trying to do something, but you're so tired that you're not doing anything. It's like the equivalent of walking in circles mentally. Or you start working on something and then you go to this because you're tired. So I need y'all to understand rest. Okay. So in watching yourself, just look back and over the years, when do I usually fall out? When do I usually fall off? All right. Once you identify that, then let's figure out what you need to rejuvenate yourself. Is it a book you need to listen to? Is it a person you need to listen to? Is it a trip you need to take? Do you need to go spend time in nature? Like, what are those things? And I want you to plan those things in. All right. That's the biggest thing. Giving yourself permission to do it and then do it. Figuring out how you work. I also want to give some of you guys, some of us work consistently. Like I know one of my mentors, she writes a blog post, I think like every Tuesday and Thursday. She works very methodically and consistently. My life don't work like that. I need to take periods of time. So I need to take a week and do a project, go hard on that project, and then I'm done. My everyday life doesn't allow me to be that methodical. And so also like just in managing yourself, know yourself. You got to know how yourself work. Don't beat yourself up because you don't work like somebody else works. You just don't. And it's okay. There's some people who can work 48 hours straight and then crash for 24 and then they're good to go. There's some people who are very methodical. I need to do an hour today, an hour tomorrow, an hour the next day. Just learn yourself so you can measure yourself well. All right. Next thing, I want you to pick out 2 or 3 keystone habits, and I want you to start measuring those in your life. So let's talk about what a keystone habit is. A keystone habit is if you do this one thing, it automatically makes you do 3 or 4 other things. Okay. For me, a keystone habit is if I go to the gym, I automatically will drink more water, eat better, and have my prayer and meditation time. Automatically. Those things are so connected. I'm more productive because I get up and get moving. I come back, I get dressed and I'm moving. If I don't go to the gym, I'm so opposite. It's like I slowly get out of the bed. I make it to the bed, to the couch, from the couch, maybe to the kitchen. Who cares what I'm eating by that time? And then like the whole day is a wash. Like it does not. All right. So that's a keystone habit for me. Everybody has at least 1 or 2 keystone habits. If you make sure this gets done, 3, 4, some of y'all 5, 6 other things will get done. So figure out what your keystone habits are. And then I want you to measure those. I want you to be able to say to yourself, but at the end of the week, so keep yourself a little scorecard or a little Excel spreadsheet or something. You can just write it on your calendar. I did 2 out of 4 of my keystone habits today. That's it. That's all you got to put on. 2 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 2 out of 4. Okay, because then you're going to be like, I really need to get that to 3 out of 4. I don't understand. Then eventually you'll be like, man, I'm 4 out of 4. And you'll notice your whole life is running better. Okay, so figure out what those keystone habits are. And then B, some type of simple tracking system for yourself to say, am I on target with or not? Because once you can see it, like, man, I'm only doing 50% of the time. Like, I know I can do better. You will not know it until you measure it. So there's this old saying, you cannot manage what you don't measure.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you cannot manage yourself well unless you're measuring your outcomes and the things that you need to be doing. I think I know if you're not keeping track, like our minds are just, I don't know, we always think the best of ourselves. And so we'll be like, girl, I go to the gym every day. And then you actually look at the calendar when you got it marked out and realize you've only really been making it 2 to 3 times out of the 7 days of the week. Okay, so that's really not every day, but you'll think that you are.
Yeah.
And so you have to measure it. We are so good at lying to ourselves. Like we are really good at lying to ourselves. Even those of you guys who think you're really hard on yourself, you lie to yourself too. So you got to get it in black and white. Like you've got to figure out, okay, what are the 3, 4, 5 things that I can measure to see if I'm on point or not. And then whatever those things are, whatever list you come up with, let's say I want to be, let's say I'll give y'all a couple of mine. So I want to be working out every day for 45 minutes on the treadmill. That give myself a point for that. So I got like a 5-point system. So that I want to be drinking 100% water. So I give myself a point for that. I need to eat vegetables in my meals, some type of vegetable, some type of way. And so I give myself a point for that. If vegetables make it into at least one meal for me right now, that's a good point because I'm good for eating cereal, a sandwich and some French fries, and then pizza, like which, you know. And so one meal has vegetable, I give myself a point for that. I give myself a point for making my things to-do list. That's really important. That's how I keep on top of whether I know what's going on or not. And then, and I give myself a point for doing a 3-3-5, which we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Because it's something that I came up with for myself. Actually, I got it from Dan Sullivan and then I adapted it. So if I grade myself every night, then I can tell whether I'm slipping or whether I'm doing okay. So my goal is to do 80, 85%. Every day, which means I'm hitting 4 out of the 5 of them, right? So that's the goal. So I can notice or I can see when I'm starting to slip. I'm at 80%, I'm at 100%, I'm at 60%, 60%, 60. Okay, we got a problem. Something's going on. And you can catch yourself quickly as opposed to 2 quarters later figuring out, okay, why my numbers are off? Why am I broke? What happened when it happened? Like you will know. You will be able to see yourself trending positive or trending negative. And it's all about kind of watching yourself. And I think the other thing is some of us have been, so this is what I want y'all to understand. You will reach a point where the way you used to operate isn't going to operate for you like that anymore. You can't continue to grow and expand and keep doing all of the things without some changes, some progression in who you are and how you are. So the way that you run your business solo, you got to operate differently to run your business with a staff of 5, which is still going to be different than a staff of 10, which is going to be completely different than a staff of 100.
Right.
And so you, the person, you have to change and you have to monitor and you have to say, okay, that wasn't effective the way I did that. I need to change that. And so you are always the number one bottleneck. Like, I need you to understand it. And I know I've said that, and I'll probably be on that for another month. That you, because I'm trying to understand it myself. I'm the bottleneck. I'm the bottleneck. No matter what I think is going on in the business, what somebody's doing or not doing it, I'm the bottleneck. If I think my people aren't producing and performing, then how did I not train them correctly? Did I not train them? Do I have everything written down? Am I monitoring their progress? Do I have a reward system in place? These are the things that I need you guys looking at. Like, as long as you can say, how do I fix the process so that it runs better, you're going to give yourself power. You're going to give yourself power. You can go in and fix it. It's okay.
Turn the volume down.
Let me take a break. So let me say this. Chick-fil-A is such an excellent example of a company that has gotten their training process down. to an art and science.
Yeah.
So much so that we in culture, even though we've never gone to a Chick-fil-A training, we know basic Chick-fil-A stuff, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a Chick-fil-A person and you get food from me, Cherise, and you say thank you, my automatic response should be what? Chick-fil-A.
What is it? It's not your welcome. What is it?
What do they always say? Like it was my pleasure or something.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we know that to be a Chick-fil-A thing.
Yeah.
And so what does your training program look like? What's going on? And so I want to make sure that you guys are looking at yourselves. On the bottleneck, I haven't implemented something didn't go right with my training. Let me look at what I'm doing, what I'm putting out there for answers on what you have or what you don't have. For those of you guys who need to keep your money consistent and you're still doing clients or sessions, are you counting how many sessions you need to do each week? And do you know when you're off? Do you know my therapist specifically, do you know what your average hourly is? And do you know when your average hourly is slipping and why? So therapists, let me say myself, when I'm on it and I'm in my business and I'm paying attention to all my numbers, I can get my average hourly up to like 125, 130. If I'm not paying attention and we're just taking everybody and I'm not looking at my numbers, my average hourly will dip to $89, $90 because we're not paying attention to my client mix. I'm not paying attention to the client mix of who am I letting in for low fee, no fee, who am I letting in for the higher cash pay, how many insurance. And so there's an art and a science to it. And so you guys, you've got to know your numbers so that you can pay attention and then you can add in the things that you need to add in to have your money where you need to have it so that it's predictable.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And so if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know what's the right client mix you need, to keep your numbers where you need to keep them, then you're going to feel like everything's all over the place, that you never know how much you're making. And that is preventable. Like you can start watching your numbers and watch yourself and notice, okay, when I do 2 of these, 3 of these, and 4 of these, it comes out to this. I need it to be higher. So as opposed to 3 of these, let me only do 2 of these so I can do 4 of these. And I can get this rate. And so, but you have to look at it and you have to know. So you have to manage yourself. You have to manage your numbers. You have to know what your numbers are. You have to know, and I'm gonna stop talking and give you a minute.
You're fine.
You need to also be tracking what marketing things are working and what marketing things are not working. And if it's something that's not working, but you feel like it's giving you good karma. So for example, a neighborhood health fair. So it may not garner you mental health. I'm talking to mental health people. So you get a table at the neighborhood mental health fair that they happen to be having. But you know that's not your client base, but you feel like it gives you good energy. Okay. Great. Keep doing it because karma is a thing. I really do believe. Keep doing it. You never know who you're going to meet, but let's make that marketing thing now. Let's reduce the cost of it. So it's really only costing us time and not a lot of money. So that's probably the event that we're not going to put our top of the line $20 brochure at. But maybe we'll do a QR code where everybody can just kind of scan and go directly to our website. So I want you to think about that. You don't necessarily have to throw something out, but you do need to know where you get your clients from. How do they find you? How much it costs to find you? And then the lifetime value of that client. Basically, how long will they be with you? And then also, I think you want to pay attention to if you are in one of those professions. I think hair is one of those professions where basically if you get the client, you should be able to keep the client forever. And so notice that if that's not, you don't think so?
No.
Okay, I keep up
Yeah,
with
it's
my
just like your
calendar.
business. It's a lot like your
Yeah.
business. It's gonna be people that are gonna be here forever, but
Mhm.
people slide in and out for various reasons, especially our business,
Mm.
because variations of styles and standards.
Hmm.
So, it's a lot of ups and
Things.
downs in that space.
Okay.
Hmm.
So know your business, know what
Yeah.
percentage of your clients are like the lifetime long termers.
Hmm.
Figure out about how much money they spend with you each year and
Yeah.
how many new clients you need to have coming in.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But you can all of these things, you guys, if y'all start paying attention to the numbers, paying
Mhm.
attention to your patterns, is going to give you great information, and you'll notice that you'll have much more control over your money, your yourself,
Yeah.
your future finances. Like you will know. You will know.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
okay.
Very much
I've done
so.
I done preached myself out.
Oh, you good. That was good. Really good. It's so funny how our businesses are so parallel. I have quite a few therapists. And, when we talk about our money and our finances and how we bring in money, how we keep
Mhm.
money, and how we multiply the money, it's funny because it's so parallel with our industries.
Mhm.
What I would love to speak to is how a lot of us are now transitioning from, the chair or the seat, the couch to coaching,
Yeah.
and how that money transitions.
Mhm.
For me, I'll speak for me, being behind the chair for so many years and lots of money coming in, ups and downs, but that
Mhm.
money came in every single day,
Yes.
right? Cash money every day.
Mhm.
Transitioning more to the coaching and the concierge, clients are on retainer or a program. So that's typically a monthly
Mhm.
retainer or membership payment, something like
Mhm.
that. So that money is measured totally different.
Yes.
So I have had to really reframe my whole mindset,
Yeah.
budgeting, living, everything around transitioning my business. And I did not consider that
Right.
when I made the transition, because in my industry, for 30 years, I'm used to making cash money and money flowing no matter what. So when money gets low, okay, no biggie, it'll be more money flowing. Oh, this season is a heavy season. So we know that, oh, we'll be making a
Mhm.
lot of money this season. Well, this is a
Mhm.
slow season. So we know we got to save for this
Yeah.
season. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. Huge transition, huge
Yeah.
mindset shift,
Yeah.
huge lifestyle shift,
Mhm.
which, can be very, very, what's the word? It can be good. It can be good. I keep it simple. It can be good if
Mhm.
you are handling it right. I've
Yeah.
had some really great experiences in the coaching space, but because I didn't understand, continuity, I didn't understand what it took to like advertise differently. I've always been word of mouth in the beauty industry,
Yeah.
hair
Yeah.
industry. When you realize that, oh, I got to promote. I
Yeah.
need ads. I need new faces. I need new energy. I need people who don't know me who will pay
Mhm.
me a different ticket. People who
Mhm.
value me different, who will pay this high ticket
Yeah.
for the course and this program and this consulting and this concierge. And it's just totally different. So in that transition, you could lose yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, you can lose your identity if you don't know who you
Mhm.
are and who you are becoming. If you
Mhm.
are not grounded in that and
Mhm.
trusting, what you're building and who you are becoming, you'll easily lose yourself.
So anybody out there who's gonna jump and change careers, I would advise you to sit down with somebody who's doing exactly what you want to do and
Hmm.
ask them about the shadow side of it.
Yeah,
Ask them about that.
the shadow side. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because it can look fabulous and glamorous and da 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 da. And then until you sit down and talk to somebody, okay, but tell me what the downside is. Tell me what that looks like. And so I know for me, thinking about making those big that when I transitioned out of insurance and into mental health, I lost my first house. I got in a whole, I won't say tax trouble, but a tax hole, which I'm still paying my way out of.
Yeah.
And I remember, I remember sitting in my parents' vehicle. Oh, because I think I had to borrow that car because my car was either I ain't had one that was in the shop. It was like real crazy. And my mom was like, well, what you doing? I was like, I honestly don't know. Like, you know, and I just remember that day because I'm a person who always has a plan. And I got a plan for my plan. I got a secondary plan if that don't work. And so at that point in my life, I just remember like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't do that transition well at all. If I had to go back, oh my God, I would do that transition so much better.
What?
But I did not. Coming off of being a W-2 employee to working solely for myself. Like it was so many hard lessons in there. And I still think we're still making, because yesterday I was still looking at the payroll and looking at adjustments and thinking like all the things that I need to do and get in place. Still with finances, taxes, investments, savings account for the company. So that's one of the things that I really want to do is get the savings account for the business and get some investment started for the business to get those going this year. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have set everything up differently.
Oh yeah.
But you live and you learn. So please somebody learn from us.
Learn from us. And I wish more people would be more transparent.
Yeah.
And real about, because it looks glamorous, it looks so successful, but people have no idea.
None whatsoever.
And I love that you use the word shadows. Like, they have no idea of the shadows.
Right. Learning to live on different money or money coming in differently. Like
that's huge. Your decision making has to. That's why I have I'm excited to go hard about all the things I'm passionate about. But on Thursdays, I do Decision Day Thursday. And decision making is big.
Ooh. Oh.
You have got to learn how to make decisions. And when I realized, the whole feeling good as hell situation, like you should never, ever make a decision not feeling good.
Say that part. Yeah.
And I'm going to give you one amazing tip that helped me change my game too. Like, don't make any decisions after 3 to 5 p.m. because you're burnt out for the day.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And when I read that in a book, can't remember which one. And when I heard it, light bulb went off. Yeah. And I can remember just being in, panicky moments and, scrambling and making decisions, in panic and in desperation and getting myself in a world of mess.
Yeah.
And doing it over and over and over again until I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
The hard way. And I tell people that all the time, this right here, I'm going to be the one to, hold you accountable. This should be your last lesson on this particular situation. If I'm involved in it with you, like I'm just here holding space. Let's talk about why you're at this point again, because that was my thing. How do I keep getting here, right here? And, I'm one to learn my lessons through other people too. So I like to learn my lessons through me and my people. So it's like, how did I get here? And I don't ever want to be back here again. Saying it before and ending up back there again. Yes. So I'm really big on holding people accountable. Like, this is the last time. This is it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Just like you said, it's self-management. If you have, measure it, like learn yourself, manage yourself, watch yourself so you can manage yourself and figure out like, what am I doing? Yeah. I have to learn this lesson. So I can unlearn whatever it is that keeps bringing me back to this.
Right. And y'all,
I feel like I can go in on that in days. Sometimes
Mhm.
it could be the simplest thing. Like it could be
Yeah.
simple, the simplest thing of let's see, what's something simple in my life that I have to constantly work on. My
Mhm.
mom, I love my mama. I really, really do. But one of the things my mom used to say, you ain't happy till you broke. And so that's one of the things that I've had to really work to get out of my head and reprogram myself. I am not happy when I'm broke. I am happy when I got a bank account that's full of money. I am happy to save money. I am happy to know that there's a lump sum sitting there for me to use
Mhm.
at will. But I'm happy keeping money, not spending money.
Yes,
And so,
exactly.
like that little thing. So, because if you ain't happy till you broke, like it's such a simple thing. But there's
And that's
certain
real
things that
programming,
it
though. That's what I
yeah,
want people to
right.
understand. And you're
Then
wondering why you work so hard. You're so smart.
right,
You got this, that, and the other together. But if you were programmed
yep,
that thing or anything else that doesn't support
right,
what you desire, if your
right,
subconscious
right.
does not support it, it's not happening.
There you go. So it's so many little things, and it's probably some big things out there too. But people
Yeah,
usually can catch the big things. It's those little things, and they just like, but how did I wind up here again? But how do I wind up
yeah,
here again? And
yeah,
how do I
yeah,
wind up here again? And so really sitting down and saying, okay, how did I wind up here?
yeah,
Where did I go wrong? So if
yeah.
you were the person who had um $100,000 sitting in the bank, and
Mm.
now you ain't got but $2 sitting in the bank. Okay, how did I get here?
And it ain't funny. I'm laughing with you all. I'm not
No, I
laughing
got,
at
I
all.
got,
I
like,
just know
yeah,
I relate.
yeah, yeah. So you make money. So the person who makes $150,000 a year, so that's good enough money for you to have something in savings.
Yeah,
You had $150,000 walk through your hands this year,
yeah,
and you ain't got $150 in savings.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so that's how you got here again. And
yeah,
so, okay, how am I going to um prioritize saving and holding on to money?
yeah,
And I think so many of us, me included, y'all, like I'm talking to me, I'm telling
yeah,
me, um, to look at, okay, then you got to be prioritizing something else. If you
mm-hmm,
have no money in savings,
mm-hmm,
then what else are you prioritizing, and
yeah,
how do we need to change those around, and what do you need to be saying to yourself now so
mm-hmm,
that you are doing what you need to do? What
yeah,
something one of me and my clients we were also talking about is so there's a so kind of the Dave Ramsey thing, get out of debt, everybody need to get out of debt, get out of debt, get out of debt, and you'll be so accomplished when you get out of debt. But if you don't go a second step further and then prioritize saving, then you're just going, you'll keep going for that accomplishment of getting out of debt.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if that's where I feel my high, and that's where I feel like I've won the race and I'm doing well because I'm now out of debt, then okay, after I get to that point, I got to go back in debt so I can get out of debt again. I got to go
mhm,
back in debt. So it could be something like that,
yeah,
that you're doing. I want to operate in like crisis makes you feel good, so you like
mm-hmm,
operating in crisis.
mm-hmm,
So that could be it. So reprogramming yourself is there's no need for me to operate in crisis.
yeah,
I operate well in calm.
yes,
Some people fundamentally believe like I can't do a good job unless my back is up against the wall.
yep. I think a lot of us deal with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The problem with that is we will reach a point in life and in business where the project or the magnitude of what we have to do, it cannot be done at the last minute. It is too big. If
Oh,
you are taking on a project that is a $1 million project
mhm,
or has multiple phases to it, it cannot be done at the last minute. Like you're gonna run into trouble where
yeah,
you ain't got enough time at the last minute to put all the pieces in place. It's just
yeah,
too big.
yeah,
And so getting out of that mindset so that you can produce on a bigger and bigger and bigger and larger level,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and so like some of these conferences, and
mm-hmm,
so conferences. like from my profession, that when I've been on a conference committee, we're planning the conference 3, 4, 5 years out.
Right.
So we don't have all of the pieces in place, but some pieces we got in place.
Yeah.
Like if 3, 4, there is no last minute on 1,000-person conference.
Yeah.
There's not. And so whatever those little things that you're saying to yourself, y'all got to start paying attention to it. You got to start paying attention to it and correcting it and calling it out, because it's not going to serve you as you continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Lisa said, that sounds like a book, TV off, feet in the water, light jazz with a glass of water, lemons. And Tiana was saying Chick-fil-A do say my pleasure. She also said it's the little foxes that ruin and spoil the vineyard.
Preach that. Yes, she's right on that. It is. Oh God, that's such a good one. Oh, high five, girl. Thank you. That was exactly. A good one. It's those little things, it's those little thoughts. It's just, so imposter syndrome may be one of them. So you gotta sabotage and play small so you don't feel it. Just craziness. Craziness.
It is. And that's why it's so important for us to be in position to support each other. You know, like, you don't really realize what people are dealing with and suffering with. You know, we'll stick with imposter syndrome. You know, there's people out here with all these dope ideas, all these, amazing opportunities that aren't getting, executed because they're dealing with imposter syndrome. And get out here and support your people. Be a cheerleader, be a sponsor, be a shoulder, figure out, get in people's business and find out what's going on. That's why you got to know your strengths, and your weaknesses as well. If you're a good supporter, get out there and support somebody.
Please
figure it out. People need support in all areas. And do it, and just do it.
Let me step on somebody's toes as you're saying that, because you're telling people to pay attention. You want to call people out instead of call people. And I'm going to say, when somebody tells you something and it cuts you the wrong way, it hits you the wrong way, I'm going to need you to shut up and go sit down and say, is that true?
Sit down and check yourself.
Because if that's their perspective of me, could that be true? Just could that be true?
Instead of, it's not me. No.
Right. No.
Something about it is true.
Yeah. Something about it is true.
And it could be the delivery.
It could have been delivery or something. But just start saying like, oh, that's the way I come off. Or didn't know that people had that perspective of me, what's really going on. Because we know our intentions, and we know half the times we know what's driving us. We may not know what it looks like from the outside. I'm trying to do my best, but from your perspective, it looks like I'm always showing up a hot mess. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I need to look at that. Maybe I need to get an image consultant or something, because what I think I'm doing is not translating to the outside world. That's not how people are seeing me. And I think when something happens like that, we get our feelings hurt, and then we get in our things, but we don't make change. We don't take a deep breath and say, okay, apparently I need to make a change.
Okay, so a quick call to the carpet for us both. I love this. So you just said maybe I need to get an image consultant or something. Right. So who are you talking to when you said that?
Myself.
Okay. So when you say get an image consultant, who's the first person you think of?
You.
Okay. All right. Good. And what people don't realize is a lot of times you don't. And the reason why you do is because we stay in constant contact with each other. We're always, texting information back and forth. We're once a week, we're on here talking, conversing, and sharing information with the audience, with ourselves. So that's in the forefront for you.
Yeah.
But how many people don't realize how you could help them, Natalie? How many people that you know that you come in contact that don't know you're a therapist, that don't know you're a sex therapist, that don't know you are like one of the most amazing supervisors anyone could ever know?
Thank you.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So same issue I have, communication issue, which is one reason why I had to, make a shift and become a great communicator, because it was too many people asking me, do you know a stylist? Do you know a photographer? Do you know a makeup artist? Do you know? And not in the way that I knew them.
Yeah.
Or telling me, oh, I got a photo shoot coming up, or and I'm like, and you didn't contact me? And you don't know that this is what I do?
Right.
I had to look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, okay, all right, this is me right here. I got to check this situation.
Yeah. Oh, so excited. But like that brings us back full circle. So kind of that self-management. So if you don't know I do this, or I wasn't one of the people you thought about calling to do this, what's going on with me? Am I not saying it out loud? I'm not saying it frequently enough. Do I think you know and really ain't never had a conversation with you? Yeah. I was thinking about just kind of enrollment conversations. Are we having enough enrollment conversations with people? And so that would be a thing to measure, every day. Did I tell somebody what I'm doing, what I'm currently doing, what my newest offering is? Yeah. Or am I scared I'm gonna get on somebody's nerves? Am I scared that I'm gonna sell too much? Am I scared So yeah, it's so much to it. I was thinking about I looked at the emails that I get. So I'm on several people's email list. I'm sure you guys are too. And I noticed that like one person sends an email like once a week. And then I have other people who send the email to me like once a day. I feel like every single day. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I know it's the business, and I'm not annoyed about a person who sends it to me every day.
Right.
And so we have this perception that we're going to get on people's nerves. And so that's one thing that I want y'all to start managing or thinking, like, why are you scared you're going to get on somebody's nerves? Mm-hmm. Especially if they're sending out emails.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Unworthiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you call yourself in business.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with that forever, and also don't mess around and elevate or make a transition in business and you really unsure. Oh, am I sure I do this?
Yeah.
Am I that good? Do I want to? I don't want people to think, I'm all over the place. Well, it's not all over the place. You're multifaceted.
Yeah.
Multidimensional. Mm-hmm. You have multiple talents. Mm-hmm. And, most likely what you're doing is you've elevated, you have, used this skill, okay, to up level this skill. And that's just what it is. But because we deal with insecurities and, imposter syndrome and all these self-doubts and limited beliefs, that's where you are.
Yeah.
But guess who doesn't have that problem?
Who?
The younger generations. How many of them do you see having a problem promoting themselves?
You're right. They don't. So we will learn.
They have no problem. They are very confident and bold, and they will switch up on you in a minute. I got a friend whose daughter has switched up businesses 5 times, probably in about 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to start something, and we'll go start it and execute it and finish it, and is in full-fledged business confidently.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay.
Millennials,
we have so much to learn from you guys.
Yeah.
So much to learn
vice
from
versa,
you guys.
yeah.
Yes, and vice versa. That's true. All right. In the last 3 minutes, what's your takeaway from today?
So my takeaway from today is where you started. Self-management, like learn yourself so you can manage yourself.
Yeah.
And that means you have to face yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that I'm doing? Going back to, am I the bottleneck?
Yeah.
Am I the one? Am I the problem? Am I the issue? So yeah, you are, whether you think you are or not. Let's just take that ownership.
Yeah.
So then you can start looking at yourself differently and start managing yourself differently. You have to.
Yeah.
if you want to grow and elevate out here, you know, if you want to shift, you have to. It's just part of the process. If you want to call that spiritual work, if you want to call that, you know, whatever work you want to call that, it's all the work to me. I think you have to do the deep inner work.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do the logical work. You have to do the technical work. You have to do all of it. So just do the damn work.
Do the damn work. I'm thinking about a story real quick, and I hope you guys find this helpful. My car is a mess. My car is always a hot mess. This just I've accepted that about myself in life. And so I was talking to this girl whose car was immaculate, and I'm like, how do you keep your car that immaculate? She's like, well, every day when I on my way to the grocery store, I stop and I get gas, and I spend 10 minutes cleaning out my car. Or every week, like it was part of her routine. And I was like, oh, like that's a thing. And so it's not just accepting your life as it is, but figuring out what that thing needs to do or happen or be in your life. What's the new routine you need to put in place? What's the new thing you need to do so that your life works and functions as well as you want it to? That's the art of self-management. If this isn't going well, or if this is a riot, what's going on? And so I can see how if I put it in my schedule to clean out my car for 10 minutes every week, my car would probably not ever be that immaculate.
Right.
But it would be so much better than it is. And it's self-management, not just this is the way it is, but what do I have in place or what do I not have in place? What do I need to implement? Like, what do I need to do to get my life to get my business to be where it wants to be? And so you have so much power. You have so much power. And I just want you to use it and make sure you're operating at 100%. So, okay. All right. With that, y'all have a great and wonderful day. I will see you guys next week where Cherise will be talking. She'll take the lead. Do you know what you're talking about yet?
Communication.
All right. I got it. Bye, y'all.
About that. Okay. Have a good day.